On some real shit, I gotta keep it so 100. I ain't never like you, cuz. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never like your bitch. I ain't never like you, cuz. You know I ain't like you. In the street, like we ain't gonna talk about that on here.
Is there anybody 50 Cent fears ever, historically, in life?
You watch that guy that just has zero fear and say, yeah, we can get him, he tough, we're gonna have a hard time chewing on him, but we gonna get him.
There's one man in entertainment who built his whole name off knowing things he was never supposed to know. A man who survived being shot 9 times and still came back stronger. A man who was calling out Diddy long before the federal headlines started taking over. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson didn't just master trolling. He turned information into a weapon that can shake the whole hip-hop industry. 50 doesn't move sloppy. He doesn't post random captions, drop random emojis, or say things just for fun. Every interview line, every Instagram post, every deleted upload means something. The man plays chess while everybody else is still guessing the rules. And history keeps proving one thing. When 50 Cent starts speaking seriously about somebody, people better listen. Now 50 is locked in on Pooh Shiesty, and this situation feels different. This isn't regular trolling, memes, or internet jokes. He's speaking about him in interviews, podcasts, and rumored private conversations. And the industry is paying attention because 50 isn't just calling the Memphis rapper reckless or emotional. He's using a much heavier word. He's calling him dangerous. Not fake industry dangerous either.
Well, the most ruthless people that you run into are going to be people that are just focused and not necessarily taking your life into consideration while they're taking theirs. It's like the district attorney's office that she wants the conviction so she can move up, her career can be good. She'll give you 100 years. And you go, why so much? Like, why you had to do that? And it was like, what? You did it. In her mind, it's her doing her job and her moving up to the next level, and she'll just knock you over. You just become collateral damage. You know, and there's more ruthless people in the business world than in the street.
Pooh Shiesty is the most ungrateful motherfucker I've ever seen in the rap game, bro. And there's a lot of niggas like that, bro. But that nigga Pooh Shiesty, bro, you heard Gucci's line, bro? I put the money in your commissary, bro. Nobody from Shiesty's side ever did that shit for him, bro. Shiesty, if it wasn't for Gucci, bro, he'd still be a street nigga, bro. He'd still be out there hitting little licks. He's a petty car thief, nigga. Nigga would be a petty car thief if it wasn't for fucking Gucci. Come on, bro. It's ungrateful as fuck, bro. It's ungrateful as hell. Yeah, I think.
He means the kind of dangerous that fame, money, and success don't easily erase. The kind of energy that makes people nervous behind closed doors because it can't be controlled by a label, a manager, or a PR team. It started during what looked like a normal interview on The Breakfast Club. Same setup, same questions, same relaxed energy. DJ Envy, Charlemagne, Jess Hilarious, everybody joking, asking about G-Unit, TV projects, and of course the Diddy situation. 50 was laughing, smiling, doing what 50 does. Then Charlemagne casually brought up Pooh Shiesty. He asked, what do you make of this whole Pooh Shiesty situation? The escape, the footage, all of it. And that's when the room shifted. Not in a loud way. Most people probably missed it. But longtime 50 watchers caught it instantly. His smile disappeared. Not into anger, into something colder, neutral. His eyes went flat. He leaned back and paused before answering. And when 50 pauses like that, it means he's choosing every word carefully. Then he said, people don't understand what that kid is. They see the music, the age, the braids, the tattoos, and think they understand him. They don't. Then he took it further. According to 50, what people were really looking at was somebody the industry was not prepared for. Not just another rapper with street stories, not just another controversy, somebody different, somebody the people around him were not equipped to handle. Charlemagne asked, what do you mean by that? And 50 locked in. He said, I've been around dangerous people my whole life. I grew up around dangerous people. I am a dangerous person. But then he drew a line between two types of people. He said some people become dangerous because of their environment, but others come in already carrying that energy. Most people get shaped by the environment, but some people shape the environment. Then he dropped the line that made everyone uncomfortable. That kid shapes the environment. The room went quiet. Nobody laughed. Nobody jumped in. And 50 moved on like he hadn't just said one of the coldest things anybody had said about Pooh Shiesty. To understand why 50's opinion matters, you have to understand his connection to the world Shiesty came from.
You've been shot how many times?
9 times.
Where were you shot?
Most of them in the legs. I got hit in my hand and I got hit in the face.
Pain-wise, how bad is it to get shot in the face?
Probably.
Is it a 10?
It's not really like as painful as having to visit the dentist repeatedly for root canal.
What is it still in your tongue?
Yeah, it's great for oral sex.
Did you ever find out who did it?
Yeah, I know who did it shortly after.
And they are now where?
The guy who actually shot me is dead.
50 and Gucci Mane go back years. They were never best friends, but there has always been mutual respect. Both came from rough environments, survived serious situations, and turned chaos into business empires. 50 has praised Gucci's business mind, his resilience, and the way he came back from prison stronger than before. And because of that respect, 50 has always kept an eye on 1017. He watched artists come and go. He watched the label grow. He watched the pressure between Gucci and his artists because he understands it from both sides. He's been the artist who felt betrayed, and he's been the boss dealing with artists under pressure. 50 has said before that he noticed Pooh Shiesty early, not just because of the music, even though he said the music was solid. He noticed something deeper, something behind the eyes, that quiet energy certain people carry. A stillness, a constant awareness, like they're always reading the room and preparing for whatever might happen next. 50 recognized it because he says he's seen it his whole life. He saw it in South Jamaica, Queens. Some of those people made it out, some didn't, but the ones who had that look all carried the same cold readiness. According to 50, it's not just aggression or anger, it's capacity, the ability to take extreme action without hesitation when things reach a certain point. And when he saw that in Shiesty, he believed the story might not end well. Not because he thought Shiesty was evil, but because fame, pressure, street reputation, and non-stop tension rarely mix peacefully. Then things got heavier during another podcast interview that didn't get as much attention. The host asked 50 to compare Pooh Shiesty to other rappers known for street credibility. Basically, where does he rank among artists who really lived what they rap about? 50 pushed back immediately. He said, don't compare him to rappers, that's the first mistake. And the mood changed fast. 50 explained that comparing Shiesty to rappers makes it sound like he's performing. But according to 50, the music is the performance. Everything else is real. Then he said that kind of real doesn't have a ceiling. The host asked what he meant. 50 explained that most people, even people involved in serious street situations, usually have a line, some personal boundary they won't cross. For some people, it's family. For others, it's women, children, loyalty, or certain situations they refuse to touch. Everybody usually has a stopping point somewhere. Then the conversation got darker. 50 said, I've met 3 people in my life who didn't have that line. He described them as people with no internal switch telling them to stop. No brakes, no fear, no limit once they were locked into something serious. Then he said 2 of them are dead, and the 3rd is locked up. The host asked what everybody was thinking. Is Shiesty one of the 3? 50 smiled that cold smile and said, I said what I said. I'll let you figure out the math. That was it. He didn't directly confirm it, but he didn't need to. The whole conversation already pointed people in one direction, and that's what made it so unsettling. This wasn't a random blogger guessing from a couch. This was 50 Cent, a man who survived violence himself, saying this carefully about another man. According to people close to 50's circle, those interviews weren't random. Rumors started spreading that the public interviews were just the cleaned-up version of private talks 50 had been having behind the scenes for weeks. And the biggest rumored conversation involved Gucci Mane himself. Neither 50 nor Gucci confirmed the call, but multiple people connected to both camps reportedly described similar details.
One night, me and a couple of my boys decided to go to Bentley's, an upscale hip-hop spot in Manhattan. We pulled up in my 400 SE Benz. Not many people had one. As I cruised past the club, out of nowhere, someone ran up on my car and slapped the hood. And my displeasure must have shown on my face. The guy quickly apologized. I thought you was my man Kenny. He got the same whip. Once my alarm subsided, I took a good look at who was talking to me. It was Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, one of my heroes. I immediately pulled the car over, jumped out, and gave Jay a pound. I told him I was from South Jamaica and had always followed his career. He laughed and apologized again for running up on me, explaining he thought I was NBA star Kenny Anderson, another Queens native. I asked Jay if he was about to go into Bentley's. No doubt I'm about to run up in this spot and see what's up, he said. I decided to decisively seize the moment. Yo, we coming with you, I told him. Jay looked at me. and then said, "That's what's up, let's go." Just like that, we were past the bouncers and inside Bentleys. We would never have gotten in without him. He literally walked me into the music business. That night, Jay and I formed a friendship, which eventually led to me signing with JMJ Records.
The alleged call supposedly happened after footage, and reports about the situation started spreading online. That's when 50 allegedly reached out to Gucci directly, not through managers or middlemen. Because by then, according to the rumors, 50 believed this was bigger than a label dispute, bigger than unpaid royalties, bigger than rap drama. The situation had started to feel like something the entire industry was watching nervously from a distance. According to those reports, 50 allegedly told Gucci, "You're thinking about this like he's coming back for the money. He's not coming back for the money." He reportedly said the money was just the surface. The real issue was emotional. Frustration, humiliation, and wanting the other side to feel powerless. And that changes everything. Money problems can be fixed, checks can be written, contracts can be adjusted, percentages can change. But when a conflict becomes about pride, pain, and making someone feel what you felt, normal business solutions don't always work anymore. That's what 50 was supposedly warning about. Once a situation stops being business and turns personal, it can spiral fast. What makes this even more interesting is that 50 has compared pieces of this situation to his own past. Before the TV empire, before Get Rich or Die Trying, before the business deals, 50 was caught in serious label tension too. He had music industry issues, money disputes, broken trust, and pressure building around him. He was connected to Columbia Records through Jam Master Jay, and things became complicated behind the scenes. Business problems started spilling into street tension, and 50 understands how quickly a contract issue can become something much more serious. That's why people think he sees warning signs others miss. He knows what it feels like to be the artist who feels betrayed, and now he also knows what it feels like to be the businessman with too much to lose. In one lesser-covered interview, 50 said, "I see myself in parts of this." He explained that when he looks at Shiesty, he sees parts of his younger self: hunger, anger, frustration, and the mindset of being ready to burn everything down if you feel disrespected. But he also sees himself in Gucci, the businessman who can't respond the way the streets expect him to respond because he has too much at stake. Then 50 said, "The difference is I grew out of being the first guy. I'm not sure Shiesty can." That line hit hard. Coming from 50, that didn't feel like a diss. It felt like a warning. He was basically saying, success doesn't automatically change everybody. Money, fame, and opportunity can help some people evolve, but some survival instincts are wired too deep. Then came the Instagram post that sent everybody into detective mode. 3 days after the Breakfast Club interview, 50 posted a split-screen image. On one side was an older photo of Pooh Shiesty staring into the camera with that cold, focused look. On the other side was a real wolf crouched low, eyes locked forward, muscles tight like it was ready to move. The caption was only 2 words: same energy. No explanation, no jokes, no trolling emojis, just that. The post stayed up for only 19 minutes before being deleted. But that was enough. Screenshots were already everywhere, and people know how 50 moves online. He posts something just long enough for the internet to grab it, then deletes it so he can deny over-explaining it later. Classic 50. But the message felt clear. He wasn't calling Shiesty a wolf as an insult. He seemed to be warning that some people operate on instinct, calm, patient, dangerous when cornered. The kind of person fame doesn't automatically soften, and that became the bigger conversation. 50 wasn't only talking about Pooh Shiesty. He was using the situation to call out the music industry itself. In multiple interviews, 50 has made the same point. The industry loves promoting danger when it helps sell music, but acts shocked when that same energy creates real-life problems. Labels build artists around street credibility, market their trauma, push the image, sell the records, and then panic when the image stops being entertainment. During one podcast, 50 reportedly said, "You can't sign a man because he's dangerous, market him as dangerous, profit from him being dangerous, and then be surprised when danger shows up at your door." That's not a surprise. That's a consequence. And honestly, a lot of people online said he had a point. Pooh Shiesty's entire image was built around authenticity. The music, the visuals, the interviews, the social media presence, everything was presented as raw, real, and connected to actual experience. The label leaned into it. Blogs amplified it. Fans celebrated it because it didn't feel manufactured. But according to 50, the problem comes when the industry wants the look of real without the cost of real. They want the music video energy, but they still expect the artist to act like an accountant in the meeting room. They want the street image, but not the street consequences. That critique goes way beyond one rapper. It's about a system that profits from pain, then distances itself when that pain becomes inconvenient. And 50 can speak on it because he's lived both sides. He knows the trauma. He knows the business. He knows the marketing machine. He knows how labels use image, fear, controversy, and reputation to sell records. But the most unsettling part may not be what 50 has said. It's what people think he is not saying. Across interviews and podcasts, 50 has hinted that he knows more than he's willing to reveal. Not in a childish, I know something you don't way. More like he's being careful because the information could cause real problems. On The Breakfast Club, when Charlemagne pushed him for more, 50 reportedly said some things weren't his to say yet. He said the timing wasn't right. Then on another podcast, when asked if he knew where Shiesty was, 50 didn't simply say no. He reportedly said he knew things that could change the whole conversation, but saying them could put people in positions they didn't want to be in, including himself. That sent people into overdrive, because this is 50 Cent. He's not known for sounding cautious. He has trolled powerful people, laughed through threats, and survived more pressure than most entertainers ever face. So if he suddenly starts choosing words carefully, people assume the stakes are serious. The theories started flying. Some fans believe 50 may know where Shiesty is through industry and street connections.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually. But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day?
I'm just not with all that 50 shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Others think he may know who helped him, who financed things, or what powerful people could be connected behind the scenes. None of that has been confirmed, but the speculation keeps growing because 50's tone feels too careful to ignore. Then there's another theory. Maybe 50 knows what's coming next. Not what already happened, what could happen next. Some people think he's positioning himself carefully, saying enough to stay in the conversation but not enough to become a target. And honestly, that sounds like vintage 50. Always near the story, never fully in the crosshairs. But now comes the question nobody can ignore. Is 50 warning the industry? Or is he building a documentary? Because 50 Cent has become one of the strongest names in hip-hop true crime entertainment. G-Unit Film and Television has been tied to major projects around hip-hop, crime, power, and celebrity scandal. He doesn't just watch stories, he packages them. The Diddy situation proved how fast 50 can turn controversy into must-watch content. And when you look at the Pooh Shiesty saga from a storytelling angle, it has everything. Label tension, rumors, leaked footage, federal attention, social media chaos, major rap names, and mystery that keeps getting deeper. For somebody like 50, this looks like a future docu-series waiting to happen.
The docu-series, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, #1 on Netflix, ahead of Stranger Things. I mean, it is more successful than I imagined people even thought it would be. What's your response to how well it's doing?
But they did characterize it as a hit piece in the very beginning is because they didn't get a chance to watch it, when they were saying that. And then after they see it, you see everyone's changed their mind and it becomes the #1 doc.
That's why every interview he gives seems to serve two purposes. On one side, he's positioning himself as someone with real insight. On the other, he's building public interest in the story. That's what makes him so effective. You can't always tell where the warning ends and the marketing begins. Reports have already circulated that conversations about a possible Pooh Shiesty project may be happening behind the scenes. Nothing official has been announced, but industry chatter says there is interest. And if that's true, every public comment from 50 is also groundwork for future content. So when 50 calls Pooh Shiesty one of the most dangerous figures in hip-hop, is that genuine concern? Or is it the opening narration of a documentary nobody has announced yet? Knowing 50, it might be both. Because 50 has never seen a problem with telling the truth and making money from it. He warned people about Diddy, stayed active in the conversation, and then turned that controversy into major content. Fans think he could be preparing to do the same thing here. But the final thing 50 reportedly said about Pooh Shiesty might be the most chilling of all, and it didn't happen in a polished interview. It happened late at night on Instagram Live with a small audience watching. Somebody in the comments asked, "Do you think they'll catch Shiesty?" 50 reportedly read it out loud, paused, and nodded. He said, "They'll catch him. They always catch them." Then he added that the real question wasn't whether he gets caught. The real question was what condition he would be in when it happened. According to 50, a person who feels like they have nothing left to lose may not have surrender inside them anymore. Then he said he had known people like that his whole life.
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Not all. Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
What's your intent with the series, with the film?
I mean, I think the intention is to give a more full-bodied experience to what happened, you know, from the people that agreed to sit down and to participate. And I feel like the film asks a lot of questions, you know, maybe more questions are asked than answers given. And I think that it was important to both of us to preserve the culture of hip hop, because I think all too often when projects like this are made, our culture is diminished, you know. This is a story that I think a lot of people want to kind of rain down on the culture of hip hop as a whole, and they forget that these are the actions and the allegations of one man. Sean Combs has a lot of things that he's going to continue to have to work out, but he also contributed to the culture, and that was also important. So I hope that the takeaway is that sometimes things are, you know, it's more than meets the eye. And there's a lot of layers, there's a lot of nuance to stories, and I feel like we tried to put all those layers in as much as we could.
People who don't come quietly when pressure closes in. People who react the way they lived, intense, unpredictable, and willing to risk everything. And when moments like that happen, innocent people around them can get caught in the middle too. Then the tone changed. 50 reportedly looked into the camera and said, "I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong." That moment shocked people because 50 almost never lets that side show. No jokes, no memes, no trolling. He reminded everyone that behind the headlines and rumors, there is still a family involved. Somewhere in Memphis, a mother wants her son home alive. Real people are tied to this beyond social media debates and internet drama. Then he ended the live, just like that. And that silence said a lot, because 50 doesn't usually show concern for people he barely knows unless something about the situation feels familiar, unless he has seen this kind of pattern before. Pressure, pride, survival instincts, fame, and chaos moving too fast for anybody to control. That's why his comments shook people so deeply. Fans started connecting everything: the interviews, the rumored private calls, the deleted Wolf post, the careful wording, the documentary rumors, and the emotional live stream moment. To many people, it sounded like 50 believed this story was heading somewhere nobody really wants to see. Whether people agree with him or not, history has made one thing clear. When 50 Cent keeps warning about something, people eventually start listening. He has called out industry problems before. He has challenged powerful figures before. He has said things people laughed at, only for headlines to make those old comments look different later. Now he's focused on Pooh Shiesty, not calling him the most talented, not calling him the most successful, but calling him one of the most dangerous figures the industry has dealt with. And that's what makes this whole thing so unsettling. At this point, the biggest question isn't how dangerous the situation is. The real question is what happens when somebody feels cornered, emotionally drained, and convinced they have nothing left to lose. That answer could change everything. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody following the story. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Is 50 genuinely warning the industry, or is there a bigger play happening behind the scenes?